Hey everybody. So the other day I got myself into a weird situation with the bees. We did a group buy for the bee club. So we picked up a whole bunch of nooks and a couple queens. The issue was someone didn't pick up their queen. So I was in a situation, I really didn't have a place to put her. So I kind of made a queen castle. I should have made a split, but I didn't have enough brood to make a split. So what I did is I grabbed some honey and frames from this hive. The challenge was this hive had lots of honey stores, but they swarmed earlier in the season and they either didn't have a queen or had a virgin queen. So I took frames from that hive and some of the bees and I put them in a split all the way down here at the bottom of the yard. So the queen is in this cage. There is some sugar at the bottom of it. And what happens is, little by little, the worker bees eat away that sugar. And the reason you do that is the bees get used to her smell. Otherwise, they might actually rip her apart. They kind of rip her legs off, rip her wings off. So after they're accustomed to her smell, they'll make her their queen. Well, since there was no brood in there, I had real hesitations that they would be anchored to that hive. Well, I went in there, the queen was out, there's pretty much no bees in it. And I was doing all my inspections on all the hives, and lo and behold, what I find is the painted queen in this hive. So the workers must have brought her back to the hive that they came from. I guess the virgin queen or a queen never hatched or whatever, but queen took over this hive. So I didn't necessarily re-queen her the proper way. I'm laughing because this is not a common behavior. Usually a queen doesn't move into a hive because, like I mentioned before, the bees that are in there are gonna rip her apart. She doesn't belong there. But I guess since the frames I took from that hive, the bees were from that hive, they moved her back into that hive, and no one knew the wiser. So I asked the question at my bee club and a lot of people were scratching their heads. I mean, the bees are a very complicated insect and there's a lot of things we don't understand about them. While it's not impossible for it to happen and people have heard of things like this happening before, it was kind of interesting to kind of see it. I was going to re-queen that hive anyway because they were getting a little aggressive. So they did it on their own. Well, everybody, this is Jurgen, the Badass Homesteader. Peace.
That's a little bit too exfoliating on my forehead.